We're here with Sahand from Oxentia. He's a senior consultant and is the AI and digital lead at Oxentia. He will be a familiar face to some of you who went to our annual conference as he presented there some similar content to what he's going to talk to you about today, but he's going to go more in depth and provide some examples today. And Sahand has also been on our platform before talking about AI through our AI SIG. So it's really nice to have him back again, sharing his insights and knowledge with us on this topic. So today we're talking about working smarter on REF impact case studies and how AI can support KE, REF and impact teams. So I think this is a really valuable and useful topic to be talking about, not just for KE UK members, but for many of our colleagues in ARMA and NCASE and NCCPE communities. So perhaps some of you are from those memberships as well. And it feels like it should be a more positive way of looking about AI, because we often tend to focus on the downsides of AI and the threat to roles and so on. But this is hopefully going to show us how AI can support us in our work and maybe enable us to do more of the fun stuff and less of the less fun stuff, let's put it that way, and be more productive and just be a bit more creative in the way that we think about AI and that we use it in our work. So I will hand over to Sahand. We've got the chat open if you want to put comments, but any questions that you want Sahand to review or answer, then put them in the Q&A, please. Yeah, and as I say, we'll share the slides afterwards, and there'll also be a link to the recording. Sahand, over to you.
Thank you very much, Tamsin. It's great to be back here at your webinars, at KUK webinars, not just yours. Thank you very much for having me again. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here with you too. It's good to see some familiar names in the attendees lists. I'm going to start sharing my screen now. And Tamsin will tell me if you can see my screen or not. Excellent.
Yeah, that's great.
Let's go then. So basically, I apologize for people who have attended my session on AI for REF case studies in KUK at KUK, but this is the beginning is some sort of similar, but I'm going to go much deeper than what I presented in KUK basically. So great to have you as well if you attended the KUK. Right. So as an agenda, I'm going to give a very short introduction what REF is and what the problem is with REF case studies internally. There's no problem with it, but internally how we do it in the higher education institutions. And also what we did to analyze what good looks like with the aid of AI and the tool that we created to help writing case studies, impact case studies better. Then I will address some obvious concerns that you might have, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end. Introduction to myself, my picture over there. I did my PhD in University of Exeter, Department of Physics. My PhD was in biomechanics. Then I did an iCure in Exeter again. Then I did 3 more postdocs in Exeter, Sheffield, and last one in Oxford. And then I joined Oxentia about 5.5 years ago, which I've been working with quite a lot of universities and different clients. And recently I've been more focusing on the role of AI in KE. And I'm an AI and digital strategy lead as well as senior consultant at Oxentia. Right, very short, quick recap of what REF is. I'm assuming most of us know what REF is and what REF impact case studies are, but just to make sure that everyone's on the same page. So REF is the UK Research Assessment System. It stands for Research in Excellence Framework. Its job is to assess the quality of research in higher education institutions. Critically, it informs the allocation of around £2 billion of funding per year to all the HEIs based on these research qualities. How the assessment is in 2029, which is a bit different than how it was in 2021, is you would see the percentages there. 55% to contribution to knowledge and understanding, 25% engage and impact, which is what we're focusing on in this webinar, and 20% on strategy, people, and research environment. What engage and impact? Well, impact case studies should focus on is showing the connection between research, uptake, change, and evidence. Well, in reality, what that research did for society outside the university, what was the impact of that research? That's what it should focus on. And that's how the ref template is. It goes from underpinning research, what was the research, how you used it, the pathway to use it, the change or benefit that it had based on that pathway, and then the evidence to back it up. And this is a simplified graph of how the case study assessment goes. So each university submits, or the higher education institution submits a profile, a bunch of case studies to a single unit of assessment. That unit of assessment is basically subject-based categories used to group and evaluate university research, basically. And there are 34 units of assessments, and how many you submit is based on your FTEs on that specific subject, and it's your FTE as a university. And there are four main panels. The panels are medicine, healthcare. A, B is the physical science and engineering and mathematics. C is social science, and D is arts and humanity. Now, all of these units of assessments have their own expert reviews, and each case study is assessed based on their reach and significance. And for your unit of assessment for your university, you will be assigned this impact sub-profile. You won't get each case study scored and know that scored, but you get an impact sub-profile based on everything that you've submitted on that unit of assessment, and they're published as well. You can all access that. Now, well, what is the issue here is that there's quite a lot at stake. It's quite a lot of funding, but it's also there's a lot of reputation hanging on this. The gap between the 2-star sub-profile and the 4-star is a big difference, basically. And well, what makes it harder is the internal resources usually. So it's not one or two impact case studies that you have to review, and it's not just one time that you review it. It's a conversation, it's a dialogue that you have with academics, and you go back and forth, you review them, triage them, rank them, and redraft them. And then the evidence, so it's 2029, but every university is starting now, for example. So you have to chase evidence and communicate what you need from the partners, from what you can get publicly as well. And we all know that the first case study that you review doesn't get the same scrutiny, let's say, doesn't get the same treatment as probably the last one, because we get tired as humans. And also, what really is the key here that we try to find out is that what good looks like. So what we have is panel criteria and the official ref template. Panel criteria for A, B, and C, which are different from each other. What we don't have is like what good looks like. What is a good case study, basically. So we went ahead and we tried to use AI to analyze, learn, and apply it through a tool, basically. So we tried to find out what good looks like through capturing the understanding with the use of large language models. And we built an agent to apply these understanding and these learnings to that. So the agent should be able to tighten the case study, make it better, rank from your portfolio and say which one's better than the other for a 4-star in each unit of assessment, triage it, and find impact, as in go online and search for impact and evidence it as well. A bit of introduction to Oxentia. Well, we're Oxford's global innovation consultancy. Our heritage goes back to University of Oxford and ISIS Enterprise. We rebranded and span out in 2017. And we've been working with quite a lot of universities, if not all of them, in the UK and internationally as well. So what good looks like? How did we analyze that? So what we had was the template and the criteria, as I said, as I explained. We gathered the scored case studies. So the ones that we're sure that they're 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star, or unclassified, and then basically uploaded all of them to AI to find out if it can find out what good looks like. The first instance was that AI couldn't do it. It was not that good. So we did some iterations. The first one was to separating and segregating economic and non-monetary impact. So this is economic impact, this is non-monetary impact, just so you know AI. Then we create a framework to review every case study. So this works especially well for the economic impact. So the first thing is the impact. What measurable changes are you suggesting in your impact case studies? Is it cost saving? Is it productivity gains, jobs, investment? Then how did the research lead to the outcome? So was it through consultancy? Was it knowledge exchange partnership? Then the context. What was the company size that you work with? The market size, sector, and the evidence to back this up, basically. The contract, the finance data, audits, anything that you have. As I said, this also works for the non-monetary impact, but I just want to show this as a monetary impact for now. The summary is basically, well, the difference between the 4-star leaning and the other ones is that basically the pathway is not impact in those less than 4-star leanings one. So they talk about activity delivered, audiences reached, and awareness raised. And the 4-star leanings one are what practice change, beneficiaries named, and outcome evidence. In summary, basically, they answer these three questions: what changed, for whom, and what proves it. These are the three things that you need to answer for a 4-star leaning. Now, this is a further analysis. So what separates 1-star to 4-star from our 200 scored case studies analysis that we did? So the most interesting part is that for 1-star and unclassified and 2 stars, they actually the basic structure is there. So in other words, you can see the theory of change still in the 2-star impact case study. But what separates them from 3-star and 4-star is that the context is doing too much of the work, and the outcome is not fully clear. And then when you get to 3-star, it is strong. It's a very good case study, but the commercial or market framing is still doing the work, basically most of the work, and it's not fully proven. Basically, the metrics to back it up is not there yet. The 4-star ones, on the other hand, are all changes realized, implementation and adoption are clear, and calculation and proof are strong. Now, when we want to make a tool, make an agent, we want that 4-star standard. That's the standard we're aiming for. I wanted to show also the difference between panels, economic impact results by panels. So the panel A shows that what 4-stars case study showed how the project turns innovation into value for the system. And it's just not the value for a product, it's just for a full system. Panel B it shows the deployed value, for example, engineering, the technology changing performance, not just the commercial interest. The panel C is about the consequences. It makes the economic consequences visible. And D is more about engagement and how the engagement is converts to value. And if we want to focus on non-monetary impact, it's basically panel A shows the changed care, and it focuses on stakeholders quite a lot as well. So that's the main finding as well. The panel B 4-star case study shows the use in the real world, how the technology changed performance. Panel C turns it into evidence into social changes. any policy that changed, any rule that has been changed because of it, it shows it, or behavior. And then penalty, again, engagement, how the change was achieved because of that engagement that you had. So we learned quite a lot. I'm just focusing on the core insight here. So a pathway is necessary, but not sufficient to get beyond 2-star. That's the core insight. Because we had a data set, because we made a data set, we were able to find what good looks like and find out based on panel and different stars how they are categorized basically. The common weaknesses that we see is context doing too much of the work, the company focus on the company size and market size, and also proof can be too thin to back up the claims in the economic, specifically economic impacts as well. So why this matters? I mean, these are, you probably would have known about these in your subconscious when you were reviewing case studies, but now these are things that AI validated, and that AI knows now what was 1-star compared to 4-star, 2-star, 3-star are, and for each panel, how good should look like. And so basically, what we're trying to do here is to take the analysis, take this learning, and then put it as an input for an AI-assisted agent, basically AI-assisted work, AI agent. So what we did is just exactly that. We went ahead. So you know that this framework well now. I showed it already. What you can change is pathway, context, and evidence that you present. What happened, you cannot change, but there's still time for measuring this. It's 2026 and 2029 is far away. So the agent can still help with that. But what happened is what happened. You cannot change that. So we made the agent, and I'm going to show an example of it now. So basically, we put it to test. We created an AI agent. I took a ref case study from 2021, and basically ran it through the agent, and these are the results. So firstly, the nice one that I'm going to show here is that the agent checks the claim one by one, and then checks each claim one by one, and it categorizes it, classifies it into, is it an impact, is it a pathway, or is it a risk that you need to focus on? So if you look at the first line, is significant commercial impact have been achieved, economic gains, new product, jobs, new insights. But the comment that it gives is that it's real, but over-compressed. Each claim needs its own beneficiary and proof. And another example is that when you have a pathway instead of impact, it's a route to impact. It's not impact itself, which is visible on the second row. And also, even if you have an impact generating considerable income for the partner, 150K, you need to have a data and calculation basis. So you need to back it up. It focuses on that. And the risk here that I'm going to focus on the next slide is that paving the way for a major future breakthrough, it is a future potential, and ref will not count it. So basically, it gives you this, and then the AI ref engine would give you ref panel do not count as anticipated or future impact. This adds nothing to the score and gives you why it matters as well. So this is one example. What I'm going through is some outputs. There's more output as well that we get from the agent. And then each of these whatever is flagged, it asks you questions to make you reconsider writing it and redrafting it. And it also gives you a structure to write it. It's a suggestion to rewrite. So the example here is that help the partner increase their market presence is a vague strategic language. So it asks you what exactly changed. Was it product roadmap, sales activity, customer uptake, or investment? And which source proves it? And then it gives you a structure that you can actually use for your ref impact case study. Another thing that I want to focus on is that so this case study in particular had this claim, I suppose, and it backed it up with an evidence, but the AI ref agent found that there's a citation mismatch, and they basically said that S7 is not the relevant source; it should be S4. Um, And yeah, so basically, what I wanted to talk about here is also that these are all protected under enterprise data protection. So your data would not be shared with any outsider, basically. So that's the concern that I want to address. Now, how you can access this agent, basically. So there are three ways. One of them is fast diagnosis of where each case study stands. So per case study, we run through the agent, we run all of the case studies through the agent. You would have a structured report. One of our consultants at Oxentia reviews it. There's always a human in the loop with whatever we do with the agent or any AI tool. And we submit the report to you for each case study. Another way is advice, which is basically we run the case study, everything in assess, but also we have a one-to-one with your academic or one-to-one with whoever you want, so you can know more about the report and finding the best next steps. And also the accelerate is that everything there, everything in advice, but also we would have a workshop or retreat. So we sit there and then we have a workshop and then they can come and all of the academics and staff can come and ask questions about drafting the case study as well. So yeah, I invite you to all to have a chat with us. And I whizzed through it. It's 22 minutes past. So any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sahand. We do have one question in the. Sorry, I've got a bit of feedback on my microphone. We do have one Q&A, whether this was tested on panel D. So we might just pick that up very quickly. Panel D, I believe, is Arts and Humanities.
Yeah. So yes, quite a lot of data that we had was based on penalty as well. So we had UOAs that well, the case studies that in the panel D that specifically on that UOA as well. If you're asking if I've tested it on a UA that was in D, I'd have the report that if you want to see it as well. So I've tested it and you can have it. One of the Ref 2021 case studies that we've looked at and what the agent outcome was, I can share it with you.
Okay, so people can get in touch with you directly if
Yes,
they'd
absolutely.
like to see that. Okay. We haven't got any other Q&As. I do have a few questions, so if people want
Yes.
to pop some more things in the Q&A, they are very welcome. I mean, this sounds, I think there's been a sense that the ref impact case studies are a resource that should be mined in some way. But I think before we had these AI tools, it felt like a very labor intensive task, and it was, you know, we have seen a few analysis by I know King's College London did some analysis of the impact case studies, and but this feels like another step, and my immediate thought is, are the ref assessors ready for this? I mean, it's a good, you know, it's a couple of years off now, well, almost 3 years off now, the ref, but it does make me wonder whether, you know, if ref impact case studies are going to use AI to be more effective, to be more precise, to be more efficient in the way that they're written and the kind of evidence that they're demonstrating. Are the ref assessors also going to be using AI? I know, I have to confess, I know very little about how the ref assessors actually go through the impact case studies, but I imagine previously it was very much we'll read these and we'll assess them against each other. And as you were saying, the more you read, the you know, your opinion of them
Mhm.
may change. So do you think that ref panels are also going to be using AI? And are we, you know, are they ready for this, do you think?
Great question. So last time I checked, and it's been like a week ago, the UKRI still doesn't allow any AI to be used for reviewing
Mm.
case studies. And but this is now. We don't know what's going to happen in 2 years. Um, so as of now, reviewers cannot use AI, but I don't know what's going to happen in the
Yeah, it
future.
just it yes,
Might be able to.
it's hard to tell, isn't it? Everything moves so
Yeah.
quickly at the moment. It just feels like
The,
a, you know, an opportunity, but potentially
yeah.
also a threat. It's hard to balance that at the moment.
So I think one of the issues that you can write correctly focuses on is they don't review any type of bid either because of the
Mm,
IP issues as well.
mm,
Um, any disclosures that might uh, be with using an AI. But 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 there are fixes for that. That I'm assuming maybe in the next 2 years they can use it. I read an article that there is one place that they're using AI as well in the reviewers for reviewing, but I don't want to quote it because it was an article. It was not a
yeah,
UKRI
yeah,
page
yeah. There
description.
must,
So
yeah, I feel like there must be somebody kind of thinking about this and testing it. I mean, I suppose
yeah,
it comes because it's such a significant element of the funding infrastructure.
yes,
It needs
yes.
to be really trusted by the community that this is going to the decisions are going to be the right decisions and fair. That that the word fair does a lot of heavy lifting in this in this respect. um so putting that
So
towards,
on that
yeah,
note,
sorry, go on.
on that note, so two or three things I want to talk about as well. Um, so one thing is that the privacy issue. I do have a slide on that. Maybe I should share that actually. It's not just for ref. It is in general. Now that I have more time, I might actually
Mm,
share this. It is in general how you use AI, and just want to make sure that everyone feels okay using AI. So I've showed it in the second talk I had in KUK. So basically,
yeah.
what you're worried about is, first of all, your data being used for training when using an LLM and your in data protection.
Mm,
So if you're inside the tenancy, so it's inside the what you call is a contract that you have with your vendor, then you're fine. For example, if you're a Google or Microsoft university, you use Word, you use Excel, you use all of these. And the Copilot enterprise that you have, I'm focusing on enterprise. It's the same. It sits on the same tenancy and agreement. Um, what really is a public disclosure, and then you should never do that, is the free versions of these
mm,
tools, of free ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or anything like that. And you need to make sure if you're using non-enterprise, the first thing I do is I usually don't use free, but if you're using paid versions, you have to opt out of training. That's one thing that I focus on as well. You'd have to opt out of training, otherwise your data would be used in future training. And really, the dominant risk is not the tenants, your vendor leaking these, is yourself leaking it, leaking everything as well. I just want to put that in perspective as well.
yeah, no, that's, I
Um,
think that's a really important distinction, and that's the kind of topic actually that we're hoping to explore more in the AI SIG that we're
yeah,
getting going, because it's about uh, i- improving our understanding of how we can use AI
yeah,
and the risks and opportunities associated with that. We have another question in the Q&A, which you might be able, I think you should be able to see, Sahand, and that is about
yes.
sourcing impact evidence. So this is an interesting one because I suppose as we get better at using these AI tools, we do find
hmm
that your ability to ask the right questions, your ability to assess the
hmm
information that comes back um, from the AI, you learn how to be more rigorous with how you use that, and then the prompts that you use. So, I suppose if internally you've had a kind of a draft impact case study, perhaps you might use AI to test whether there's anything else that you could include in
Yeah.
that case study, or to test the claims that are being made, I guess. But can you build on Philip's question there about
Yeah, yeah.
finding evidence?
Yes. So that's a good question. So basically, what I did say that a project, a study, you cannot change what happened. You cannot change the impact that it had on
Mm.
society. What you can change is the narrative and how you make that case for it. So quite a lot of 2 stars, 3 stars impact case studies that when we review it, they're actually really good case studies. They just don't focus on the right aspect
Mm.
of what is important for a ref impact case study, and they don't necessarily show the evidence to back it up. Um, I cannot put a percentage on how much the universities are doing better, but this just first of all, they're going to save a lot of time, and they can use that time to find better evidence. But also, when they use this tool, it makes them question and then write the case studies better. So I cannot for sure guarantee that a 2 star will be a 4 star because the impact is what happened. But for sure, we can guarantee that it makes you think about what good is and how you can present the case study better. So
Yeah.
this is my way of answering the question
Yeah, I mean,
to
that was Abby's question about, whether institutions using these tools would be able to
yeah,
substantially improve their impact case studies. And I suppose
yeah.
that was one of my questions as well, whether this is a paid for service, getting Oxentia's support in doing this, and other consultancies may be available as well in this respect. Those universities that can afford for this support, and I'm aware that support has been paid for to support ref even before the advent of AI. Is it going to create a lot of asymmetry in the impact case? I mean,
Ah,
and how visible
good
will it
question.
be to assessors actually?
No, that is a great question. So if this is this is this is a good point. We made this agent to make ourselves more accessible as well. So the agent makes this service way more affordable than us reviewing the
Yeah,
case study. So
yeah.
it's not going to be it's not going to be the same price for us reviewing it, which would take 1 day or 2 days, for
Mm,
example. It
mm,
would not be the same. So if anything, it makes us or any type of service more accessible. I
yeah,
did talk about this in the talk as well, in the KUK. At the first instance, for example, Cambridge has its own AI operations on AI now.
yeah.
Sorry, their operations on AI now, which is amazing. Now they can afford it, they can do that, but in the long run, that would be available for every other university as well. So the gap will be less in the future, hopefully, with AI. Um,
Yeah. I suppose
that 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 answers your
we're
question.
at that kind of pioneer stage at the moment where it's
Yeah, but specifically to our services, this would be an affordable service. I want to make sure that it comes across this, especially the first two uh, offerings.
yeah,
Um,
okay.
yeah.
And I mean, we do have a question specifically about the pricing structure, but I appreciate you may not want to answer that live, but people can get in touch with you and find out more.
Please have a chat with us, with
Yeah,
myself, Alex, and happy to work with you and then give a quote.
yeah,
It
okay,
depends on how many case studies you have, basically. That's the
yeah,
main thing.
yeah, okay. Um, I also had a question about. I mean, you said these tools can't change what happened. The ref is a backward look at impact that has occurred, and you're creating a narrative around it and finding the evidence. But do you think that, you know, assuming there is a ref after 2029, do you think this might
Hmm.
change behaviours now based on how our improved understanding of how you might collect evidence, of how you might narrate what impact has occurred? Do you think it might change how people
Hmm.
approach projects in the first place, because they have a better understanding of the kind of narrative that they might need to create around a
Hmm.
project? do you think it will inform how people plan their activity and the kind of evidence they collect en route, so that they can write a better impact case study when the time comes from scratch, with
It's very subjective, to be honest. And then I know quite a lot of universities are going through restructuring as well. And then maybe if your ref impact team has been working now and then is not going to be rehired in a few years, yes, 100%. That's a great point, Tamsin. But it's not every university lesson, because there's quite a lot of challenges at the moment. But there's still time. So at the moment, even we're 2026 and submissions on 2028, if I'm correct. So even now, using these agents allows you to gather good evidence for the 2029. I don't know how it's going to change after 2029. And if 2029 stays 2029 or 30, I don't know. Yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, I think it is
very subjective.
Yes, and I think ref impact case studies are something of an iterative process. Each time they've been done, is it twice? Only twice? It feels like we've kind of done them more, but we learn better how to do them anyway. And then with the use of AI, that really also enhances our understanding of how to write a good impact case study. But it does feel to me, as somebody I've never actually been involved in a ref process, but sitting on the kind of more external facing KE side of things, it does feel like we're bringing those people who are doing the collaboration, doing the commercialization. It feels like there should be more visibility. We should be able to pull more out of this stock of evidence, these ref impact case studies, so that we have a better understanding of that internal external mechanism. So that feels hopeful. I mean, it feels like we should be able to do more analysis of these and have a better idea of the kind of quantum of engagement that goes on between universities and external audiences that isn't just economically driven in particular, because that tends to be the evidence that we more easily capture through other means.
Yes. That's why I appreciate the question about panel D as well, because we did it for both. We did economic and non-economic impact as well. So if anything, so the AI, the easy way that you can do it is just give the AI ref template and also panel criteria, and then ask it how my case study is looking. But it really doesn't give, because it doesn't know what good looks like. And AI really is based on the data. So AI is not good if it doesn't have data. So if you give it enough data, it becomes more specific and accurate. But also, if you give it framework and more narrower, basically, analysis. So by giving it the framework and separating the monetary impact and non-monetary impact, it was much better analyzing the impact case studies.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, because I think it's fair to say that the shape disciplines struggle a little more with the frameworks that we have for gathering evidence, whether it's HEBSIS data or whether it's other kinds of KEF frameworks, whatever. I feel like this could reveal more about those disciplines in terms of the impact that they have through different types of engagement that we may not have seen to date in our evidence base. And I mean, you only have to look at LinkedIn and some of the posts that are happening now about, the threats to those disciplines. And so anything, the more evidence we can draw on to show that this is also a really significant part of our research base, and it does have an impact with external audiences of different kinds. I think that's really important.
Yeah, but I just wanted to point out for your previous question about the future planning and future impact, and then at least it allows you to have better clarity to action plan with a focus on where the narrative might go, basically. So that's the least it's that, basically.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it can help to maybe incentivize by showing that, the purpose of an activity. It can lead to X, Y, and Z, or it can,
Yeah,
it can demonstrate the kind of change that can happen when you're trying to
exactly.
get people to engage in knowledge exchange and impact activity.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Any question? If there are any questions, I'm happy to
Have we
answer.
got any more questions? We've got
If
plenty of
not,
time. Everyone's been very quiet.
I'm happy to chat with anyone as well
Yeah.
outside.
I'm just going to ask whether there's anybody in the audience who isn't involved very much in the day-to-day ref impact case study world that we haven't heard from, and whether they feel that AI is something, is AI something they're already using? Do they think it's going to really
Good question.
change their role? Is it a threat to their role, do they think, in the future? I feel that there will always be the need for a human interaction in this space, because I think it's partly about
Yes,
having that trust and having those conversations and the dialogue that you spoke about right at the outset,
that is a
Sahand. But it'd
great
be
point.
interesting to know if there's anybody who's in that ref impact community who is feeling excited about this or feeling worried about this. I'm not getting any chat, but maybe we'll get some more follow up on that later.
Yeah,
If nobody,
I just want to
yeah, sure.
echo what you said. We never. It would have been very easy to just run all the case studies to the agent, or even sell the agent as a service. But we're very strong believers on human in the loop.
Mm,
So we
mm,
never actually output anything that is not reviewed by a human.
by human, yeah,
Um, so
yeah.
human in the loop is just what we focus on.
Yeah, and I think coming back to that point, that at the moment we're anticipating that these case studies will also be reviewed by panel members, but they will
Yeah.
be human reviewed, and therefore it is important that they don't they don't read all the same. They have that element of, somebody's thought about this, somebody has reviewed this, somebody has validated this against the evidence that's been presented, and there is that real element of storytelling in
Mm.
the narrative that is so important, I think, to creating a compelling 4-star impact case study. We haven't got any more questions. People are being very quiet today. But thank you to those of you who did put your questions in the Q&A. Sahand, do you quickly want to put your email in the chat, and then those people
Yes.
who wanted to get in
Great.
touch about pricing structures or want to follow up with more information can do so. I'm sure this is we've suddenly got some questions. Has the agent identified a certain
It's
panel?
my email.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
Sahan's put his email in the chat. I'm going to, since we've just got a very quick couple of other Q&As. Do certain panels review differently to the guidelines? I think that if it has the agent identified, that might be
No, I don't.
too much.
We have not. Yeah, sorry. Can I?
No, go on.
I was. We didn't make that as an objective of the agent.
Mm,
One of the guidelines that it has was the actual guidelines that panels had. It would be good to actually check that, but this agent is not about that.
yeah. Okay.
Happy to chat.
Thank you. And somebody's commented that it's important not to lose the academic's voice, which absolutely, that's what
100%.
we want to maintain.
Exactly.
Super. Okay, I am going to draw things to a close there. Give you back 15 minutes of your day to go and try out some AI agents on your impact case studies. Thank you, Sahand, as ever, for sharing your knowledge with us and for sharing that. We'll make sure the recording of this is shared with everybody who signed up, and you have your Sahand's email so you can get in touch with him directly. And I'm sure you can go and read more on the Oxentia website as well. We will be coming back to topics like this and others in our AI SIG conversations. So keep an eye out in the newsletter for news of when that's next going to be meeting. I think there's a meeting coming up very soon where we will focus on some of how to use AI in KE processes and how to make it part of your toolkit safely and securely as well. Thank you to all of you for coming. Thank you to our back office team, Rita, for running the webinar. Thank you, Sahand. Thank you to the Oxentia team. And we'll look forward to seeing you again next time.